I thanked them for inviting me, but my mother-in-law gave me a surprising response. "You're not coming with us. You annoy me, understand?" I was confused and hurt. Why did she treat me this way? It felt like she didn't consider me part of her family. Was it because of my job that she acted like this? Her words really stung, and I was too shocked to reply. I had put up with her behavior before, but I wasn't going to let this slide. "My name is Tracy. I work at a big company. The job isn't glamorous, but I have great colleagues, including my boss, so I like it here. The work can get busy during the peak season, but I never feel stressed because we all help each other out. Our teamwork makes it easier to handle. My parents often worry about me working too much and always ask, 'When are you getting married?' I usually tell them the same thing, 'I'm not ready yet, and I don't want to rush.' They just sigh and shake their heads at me." Things changed after my company threw a big party. I don't usually feel comfortable in social situations, but I went because it was part of my job. The dinner was great, but the crowd made me feel dizzy, so I went outside to get some fresh air. While I was enjoying the breeze, I heard a man's voice. It took me a second to realize someone was talking to me. "Oh, sorry. I was lost in thought," I said. The guy standing there looked ordinary, but friendly. "Are you antisocial?" he asked bluntly. His question made it easier for me to be honest. "Yeah, I like working more," I said with a small smile. He shyly replied, "Same here." I thought I was the only one who didn't want to socialize. He seemed more comfortable now and started talking to me. His name was John, and we talked about our jobs and shared interests in travel and movies. He loved films, especially old Hollywood ones. "I prefer watching movies at home rather than going out with a bunch of people," I said. "Me too," he said excitedly. Then he added, "Oops. I haven't met anyone who likes talking about this stuff, so I got a little carried away." He seemed embarrassed, but I thought he was cute. We kept talking on the balcony and exchanged numbers before the night ended. I usually don't give my number to guys unless it's for work, but he was different. He made me feel comfortable talking to him. One day at work, and suddenly asked me, "Are you dating someone now?" I froze. She didn't seem to notice my confusion and kept talking. "Because you've been wearing cute outfits to the office, I'm guessing you're seeing someone special after work." I wasn't sure what she meant by dating. "I'm not sure if we're dating, but we have a lot in common. We watch movies and have dinner together, that's it." She gave me a confused look, then rolled her eyes. "That's called dating," she said, as if she could tell what I was thinking, like I had just realized it. She laughed and said, "I'm happy you're happy." I had been so focused on my work for so long that I hadn't even thought about what we were doing. Being with John felt so natural that I didn't worry about labels. John and I had a smooth relationship. It wasn't full of intense drama like in movies, but it was relaxed, and we enjoyed peaceful time together. Eventually, we got engaged. Even though my job kept me busy, John never complained. My colleagues were happy for me and supported me continuing to work after the wedding. We started planning our wedding and invited our friends and colleagues. John's parents were quiet and reserved, just like him. His dad was polite and said little, while his mom was dependable, but not loud. When we had dinner to introduce our families, it wasn't like our parents became best friends, but it was still a nice, calm gathering. But my mom looked worried. Later that night, when I asked her what was wrong, she said, "You might have trouble with John's mom later. But John is a good guy, so I hope he'll handle it." I didn't think much of it at the time, but eventually, I understood what she meant. Our wedding and honeymoon were amazing. I had always wanted to visit Rome after watching Roman Holiday. We couldn't sit or eat at the Spanish Steps where Audrey Hepburn had gelato, but just climbing up the stairs was a dream come true. We went during the off-season, but there were still a lot of tourists taking pictures. After we came back and started settling into married life, my work got even busier. I had told John's parents that my job gets really hectic around the holidays, so I might not be able to take time off. When John and I visited his parents, I told them I'd miss the first Christmas with them. John's dad said, "We don't really celebrate big, so don't worry. Just visit us when you have time." His mom agreed, but I could tell she wanted to say more. While I was helping her in the kitchen, I realized she still had old-fashioned views about women staying home and doing housework. When John came into the kitchen to help, his mom said, "Cooking is a woman's job. Go relax in the living room." She sent him away, but of course, I wasn't allowed to relax. I told myself it was better than her expecting me to do everything myself. I never thought I'd be treated this way by my mother-in-law. She looked at me while chopping carrots and said, "I don't understand." I had to ask, "What's wrong?" She lowered her voice so only I could hear. "You can't take Christmas off, can you?" "That's rude, and I'm sure my husband is upset," she whispered. I was shocked by her sudden change in attitude. It was so unexpected. As she kept chopping, she lectured me. "Why didn't you quit your job after getting married? I hope you're not planning to keep working long term." I was flustered and replied, I haven't decided yet. John and I talked about it, and we both plan to keep working for a while," I stammered. She looked at me disapprovingly. "You don't look like a successful career woman. Wouldn't it be better for your company if you just quit?" What did she know about me? I felt my anger rising, but she was already setting the table for dinner. She went back to being normal in front of everyone. I remembered what my mom had said when she first met John's mom. "What's wrong, honey?" John asked, snapping me out of my thoughts. I started bringing food to the dining room. John's mom pretended nothing had happened. "Are you tired from cooking? I bet you're too busy with work to cook at home." My mom quickly defended me. "Even though she's busy, she makes sure we eat well and cooks balanced meals. Don't tell me you're bullying her." "Of course not, I'm just worried about her," she replied, changing her tone. I was surprised by how fast she shifted her behavior. John's dad said, "Let's eat," and we all started dinner. The next morning, John and I left. I probably looked upset, so John asked, "Are you okay?" I didn't want to bring up anything that might cause tension, so I said, "It's nothing, I'm just a little tired from work." I tried to cover up my feelings. "Oh, sorry you didn't get to relax much with my parents visiting on your days off." Seeing John's concerned face made me feel even worse. I didn't want to drag him into this, it wasn't fair to him. My in-laws didn't live with us or visit often, so I thought I only had to deal with her occasionally, but I was wrong. After our last visit, she started calling me every week. She would ask about John or make sure I wasn't slacking on housework. I tried not to think much of it, but eventually, it started stressing me out. I still couldn't bring myself to talk to John about it. One day, she called again. As soon as I answered, she said, "My birthday is coming up next month." I had forgotten about it. "Oh, right, what would you like to do?" I asked. "I don't need a birthday celebration," she replied quickly, then rushed on without letting me speak. "My husband suggested a short family trip." The idea of a trip made me a little excited, but it didn't last long when she continued. "Thank you for the invite. Are you joking? I guess you'll be invited since it's a family trip," she said sarcastically, "but you're not coming with us. You annoy me, got it? Make up an excuse, blame it on work, and don't join us. I'll let you plan the trip, though." That was it. I finally let my anger show. "I see, whatever you say. Watch your tone with me," she yelled, but I hung up on her. I followed her instructions and booked flights and a nice hotel for their trip, without me. The morning of the trip, I told John the first had to take care of something small at work and cancelled my flight. He seemed disappointed. "Well, if it's work, I understand. I'll miss you. Let me know if you need anything," he said sweetly. I felt a little guilty, but only because of how it would affect John. I ended up going to work as I had said. I considered doing something on my own, but I knew I'd just end up feeling negative. It was better to keep busy. My assistant made a big mistake that day, so everyone, including me, was running around trying to fix it. I didn't even have time to text John. By the time we finished, it was already getting dark. "Phew, good job, Tracy. It's so late. Is your husband okay?" one of my coworkers asked. "Yeah, I told him I might be busy today," I replied, feeling relieved. I remembered to check my phone for any messages from John. There were several missed calls and texts. They were supposed to return the next day. While I was reading the messages, my phone suddenly vibrated. I stepped into the hallway and answered. "You need to explain this. What did you do?" My mother-in-law screamed so loudly that her voice probably echoed through the office. "Calm down, please, I'm still at work," I said, trying to get her to lower her voice. She didn't care and kept yelling. Some coworkers poked their heads out of their offices, but as soon as they saw me, they quickly closed the doors. "How do you know the GM of this hotel?" she shouted. She explained that when John checked in, the staff had mentioned that the booking had been for 3 people. She was too late to stop them, and John and his dad asked her about it. She ended up confessing everything to them. I took a deep breath and explained calmly, "I work in the travel industry. The hotel was struggling at one point, so I helped them with marketing. I've known the GM since then because the hotel became popular for its great service and scenic views. People started visiting because it looked great on social media." She was silent, her breathing heavy. I could imagine how upset she was. "The GM asked us why we were having a family trip without you. You arranged all of this, didn't you?" "No, it's peak season. I didn't think he'd have time for this," I said, acting innocent. "The GM and I have a good relationship. Last time I was there for work, I mentioned I got married and changed my last name. John's last name is unusual, so the GM must have noticed." I heard John approaching. I heard John's voice in the background, and then he took the phone from his mom. "I'm really sorry, honey. I had no idea what my mom was doing to you." "Don't worry, babe. I didn't tell you either. The GM gave me a lecture and told me to take really good care of you. He said it's rare to meet someone as compassionate as you." "I feel like I was being lectured by your dad." I laughed at his comment. The GM was about the same age as my dad, and he had a daughter who was married, so maybe he felt personally involved. "I'll see you tomorrow. We need to talk about this. Love you, hon." We hung up, and after they came back, we had a family meeting at John's parents' house. My mother-in-law had never been interested in my job, so she didn't know that John's company was one of my clients. The GM had told John that if he didn't treat me well, the hotel would reconsider its contract with his company. "The GM said it'll affect your performance review," John told her. That's when my mother-in-law finally realized that she had messed up. She felt deeply regretful, though it probably didn't have a big impact on his career. She had no work experience, so she believed it completely. During the meeting, she looked small and guilty. "I'll never take a trip with you again. I'll only go with Tracy from now on," John said firmly. She tried to defend herself. "Please forgive me. I'll tell the GM I'll never bully Tracy again." But John cut her off. "This isn't about my work. If you can't treat Tracy nicely, I won't speak to you again." She started crying. "I'm really disappointed to know you're such a terrible person," John's dad said to her. Then she took my hands and apologized. "I'm really sorry. Please forgive me. I will never do such horrible things again." Honestly, I wasn't fully convinced by her words. "We'll see what your actions show from now on," I said. John added, "I've been too oblivious. I'll keep an eye on things now." Then he turned to me. "I'm sorry again. I won't let her do whatever she wants anymore." He pulled me into a tight hug. "I'm sorry too. I can't believe she did that," my father-in-law said, hugging me as well. I felt a huge sense of relief. From that point on, my mother-in-law stopped making rude comments about my work and calling me to criticize me. All contact with her went through John, and there were no more complaints about when I could or couldn't visit. I even felt like she started respecting my work. John told his dad, who had never done chores at home, "You need to start helping Mom with housework." He struggled with cooking, but he helped with cleaning and started showing more appreciation for his wife. The mood in the house was much lighter. "Did you worry I was going to take my mom's side?" John asked me one day. I told him honestly, "I didn't want to cause a rift between you and your mom. I'm glad we turned this into a better situation for our family." "Thank you, hon," he said, kissing me on the forehead. 3 months after the family trip, the 4 of us stayed at the same hotel. "It's still popular," I said happily to the GM. "It's because of you," he replied with a shy smile. My mother-in-law apologized to him. "I'm so sorry for what happened. I've been scolded by my family, and I deeply regret it. I apologize for causing you any worry. John has been a very good husband." The GM looked at us warmly and said, "Tracy saved this hotel and me, so please, take care of her." He sounded like my own dad, and in that moment, I realized how much I was valued by others. I felt really grateful. The trip turned out even better than I imagined. I'd been to the hotel many times for work, so I was able to show my family some hidden spots. We all had a great time, and it was one of the perks of my job and my efforts. In the future, my in-laws and I would keep a respectful distance, but we maintained a good relationship.